We're live.
Wow, that's a scary look. It's weird. It's a Tuesday night.
I know.
We're not building gadgets or anything else. We're just here for fun, right?
Just here for fun. We'll talk about Gadget Talk in a little while, but we do have some news, and then we're going to get into some stuff. So, Tuesday night,
normal night. This is a brand new podcast that we hope doesn't last. That sounds weird, doesn't it?
We don't want to last too long. I'll put my hat on.
That's right, because we're doing this during the shutdown time. So,
yep.
Rarely ever do you start a podcast saying, I don't want it to last. But this isn't actually a new podcast. It's kind of a different podcast. It's just an extra show, right?
Right.
But just every other weekly extra show.
Right. We want this podcast to die.
That's right. We want this podcast to go away.
Soon.
But so let's you want to start with some news or an explanation of why we're doing this series?
Let's do the explanation, then we'll jump into news. Let's do it that way. I like that.
So first of all, in case you stumble upon this video, you're not watching it live or you listen to audio way later.
Go away.
Go away. The countdown clock, right?
Right.
Right now it's 2020 and we are filling in an extra podcast because we're in the midst of the coronavirus outbreak, the pandemic around the world.
Right.
So we are doing this absolutely not to make fun of the situations going on. It's very serious.
Right.
But with sports canceled and everything else canceled and a lot of situations going on out there that are just not great, people stuck in their houses, we wanted to add a little extra night of entertainment and just have some fun. So it's going to be lighthearted, but nothing is meant to poke fun of the seriousness of the situation going on.
Right.
But
stay home. Everybody stay home. Wash your hands.
Like we just talked last Sunday to a cacher in Spain. And as we did that, he was in the midst of a 30-day stay-at-home order from his country. So, many of you out there in areas right now that they just issued a shelter in place close by me, but they haven't done it in my area of the county yet. But it's coming, right?
Yeah.
And so many of our people that do listen to the show regularly are already in those areas around the world and in the U.S. And then others are not, but they are of that special population that should not be out there.
Yeah.
So to stay in a little more. Some friends of mine around here locally, we're not in a quarantine, but I've talked to them recently. We canceled some events. And they're like, I'm not going out for now. Yeah. It's not worth it. They have different medical issues or their age is such, it puts them in that category. And they're like, I can't risk it. I can't risk it for my partner either, so you hear that a lot. So that's what this is for. Just some extra fun on an extra night of the week. And like we mentioned Sunday, Geocaching podcast, which we also like, they added an extra show. I don't know if they're going to do it every week or not. They did.
Yeah, I think they do. I heard I heard it went well and it was a lot of fun. So
that's great.
I'm hoping all the podcasts jump in and do something. Yeah.
We need extra nights, because we really do. A lot of people really do need to be home. We're right there on the brink of that here. So anyway, that's what the show's about. Hopefully you stumble upon this later on and you go, that coronavirus thing, that was a long time ago. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that was years ago. What are you talking about?
For anybody that's live, I hope we can provide a little extra fun tonight. So tonight's going to be totally a fun night. We're going to talk about some practical things too, but it's supposed to be fun in light of what's going on, not making fun of what's going on. So
no, absolutely not. Yeah, the just for fun is just us. But yeah, speaking of, I do want to shout out to Craig, our buddy, the Aussie geocacher, See My Shell. Thank you, Craig, for being on. Craig is tested negative. Yep, there you go. Been in isolation alone for 8 days, 1 week to go. So he was had to isolate for 2 weeks. We were very thankful that he tested negative. Tested negative. So that's good news. So yeah, we've got some ideas. We've been running some ideas around. We might talk about at the end. To remind, also as a reminder, couple things. One is we're fitting the Tuesday nights with Geocache Talk in. We're intermixing it in with Gadget Talk. So next week will be Gadget Talk.
And we're not replacing
no.
Gadget Talk. Yeah.
and in fact, Gadget Talk is expanding, which is another announcement tonight.
Oh, yeah. So let's just get right into the news since we're rolling naturally anyway.
Sorry, right? I got so excited about it because Gadget Talk is so much fun, and so I'm very excited that Gadget Talk is going to be expanding for a while, at least. Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. That's Chad's baby, so we'll have to see what happens after that. But
he's knocking it out of the park with that show too. So
man, he is. People love it. A lot of people want to be on the show. We got people all over. Thanks for joining. So thanks, Ian. Yeah. Yeah. Cheers to you, my friend. Thank you so much. Ian, all right, major announcements. Yeah. But we have several ideas for the Tuesday night fun.
Yeah.
Night.
How to not be bored when you're in the house and your whole sport and hobby is being outdoors.
Exactly.
You got to find other ways to kill time, right?
Exactly. So most of the 99% of the time we only mention why we're doing the extra, but we have some, I think, some really cool ideas. Jesse's got a bunch, and we talked about some also before the show too. So anyway, looking forward to that. We're gonna do. Oh, cool! There you go.
Trackable code. I like it.
All right, people sharing trackables already. I love it. So.
Who knows? Maybe we'll have just a big trackable code sharing party one night. I don't think HQ would like that.
Probably not.
I'm sure that's a violation of something.
Might be. You never know.
So update. Another update. Cache Exchange. We talked about this a while back on the air.
Yeah.
And we'll probably have them on again in a little while to just to get, they can do an update every once in a while. But if you go to geocachetalk.com, there is the Cache Exchange is now up and live on under resources. There's some other additions to that website too. We're trying to update that as well.
I'm gonna grab the link and just put it below so people can see it. So
it's a long link.
It is, but at least they'll see it.
Yeah. So the Cache Exchange, for anybody that missed that show, shame on you. If you, because of the rules of vacation rule or whatever they call it, you're not supposed to hide a geocache that's not close to your house or that you can't maintain.
Right.
What we're doing is setting it up so you can partner with somebody else anywhere in the world. That we already started it with several people that are willing to hide them, and they got the locations on there. We're going to update those as they come in. Basically, you agreed to have one for them in your location. They had one for you in their location. You both send into the reviewer that you're going to maintain that cache, and now you can own a cache in another state or country.
Yeah.
So lots of fun. I've done it myself before, but never that organized. And I think what they're doing is great. So, but now we have a good place to do it. You don't have to, hey, hide something for me. So it's you have a good, easy place to track that, and a whole list of places where you can choose from. Right.
Right.
So that should be a lot of fun. We'll keep updating that as it goes.
Yeah. Now, and if I understand correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse, but if you want to do one, but you don't know where you want to put one, or you want to, you can be partnered with. There'll be other people that you'll be partnered with.
Yep.
Right.
All the information, email contact, and everything is on that page under resources.
Right.
It's called Cache Exchange. So every bit of those instructions are on there, and we won't go through all that tonight because we did that on our previous show. But go there, check it out. Which show was that? How did I miss it? I don't know.
It was the show with the three happy campers.
Yeah, I don't remember the number.
Oh, I can tell you real quick. Hang on, hold that thought.
So we'll stand by up there as well. But so that Cache Exchange, if you've never done, is a lot of fun too. So
yeah, that's neat. And
they're in other places,
and they're very passionate about it, which I love. I love when people are passionate about different parts of the game. I mean, I think that really the neat thing for me personally is I love to hear when people are excited about some item of the game. And that really, to me, it does mean a lot to find out that they, the people are, because that gets other people excited, You there?
Yeah, I'm trying to go to our next. Well, we don't have.
What you're doing, I'm putting up.
I was going to put the promo code just to remind everybody that Right in the Rain still for a few more days. Yes. I think Geocache is the promo code. Go on Right in the Rain and get you all kinds of goodies. I got a bunch of them myself, and pens and notepads and everything. And Geocache the code for 30% off.
I'll put it up real quick while you're talking about it.
And that's a great deal. So lots of fun with that. And then we'll get into the kind of the meat. I can't even call it the meat of the show, really, right? Because we're just kind of getting off. But there actually is a structure to the show, and we're actually going to give out some decent information. And the idea of tonight is if you're in one of those areas where you can't get out, or you're in a condition that you can't get out, like many of us may be really soon here around where I am.
Yeah.
What else can you be doing if you're stuck inside the house?
Right.
So we have a few ideas of what's possible, and I'm sure we will get all kinds of off track before it's all over.
Oh, sure. It happens.
Right.
It's okay.
So the very first one, which is not really, this came up Sunday, and it was interesting. It's kind of what gave us the idea for the topic for the night.
Mm-hmm.
It was mentioned that in Spain, a lot of the people over there are disabling their caches while they're in a shelter in place.
Right.
Kind of discourage people from going and finding them.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? I didn't want to get us sidetracked Sunday, but that was a really good one, and it kind of blew up in the chat room, and I was interested to see people's opinion on that because, well, I'll wait. Let me get your opinion first.
I think it depends, which is probably not the answer you wanted, but I think it depends a little bit on if you're out in the country, do you need to, in my opinion, you don't need to disable your cache because you want people to go find your cache.
But you don't want people to do it during the shelter time when they're not supposed to be out, if that matches your rules, right?
Well, that's true.
You can get out and exercise. If you're in a shelter in place, you can still get out and exercise. Well,
that's
geocache to be considered exercise, in my opinion.
Yeah. See, when they say hiking, I immediately say, oh, I don't hike. I geocache, and sort of in a sense hike because it forces me to get out. And so I would say no, but what if you owned a high found cache in downtown Barcelona? Do you want to have people? Well, you wouldn't want to do an FTF because, well, I don't know, in a downtown area. The thing is that I don't know about you, but even if we'll have to get your opinion on this because
it's a big fat. It depends already, right?
I'm all over the map. I would say no. I would say that I don't see a reason yet because other than events, I have never been even to high profile caches where there's been more than just us. So I don't feel like your physical distancing. Notice I don't say social distancing. I don't like the term. I think it's a terrible term. You should never social distance. You should physical distance.
Right.
Social distance seems to indicate we don't want to talk to each other, which is wrong. We do want to talk to each other, just at a physical distance that's appropriate. So
there's another good point there. Unless everyone disables. No, I agree with you, but I think it's a good gesture. I think it's neat that they did it. Now, that seems like they're going out and they're clapping at 8:00 in the evening.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah. But now I would say it's feasible if you have like a handful of caches. But there's people that have hundreds and hundreds of caches, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're going to go through every single one. They use GSAC or go through every single one and disable it. And it seems like there's a big chance that things could get messed up there. And I don't really so I considered it myself when I heard that the other day, because I have some caches out there, not tons, but I have some. More than would be easy to do without GSAC, to disable.
Yep, had them.
But I don't think I get why they're doing it, but it doesn't affect my area yet because we can still get out right now. But I don't think it would really stop the people. It's a good gesture, but like people that want to go out and do it anyway, they're just going to go sign it and claim it later. So unless you disabled it and took it off the map and they couldn't get where it was, I don't think it's really going to be that effective, but I think it's a neat gesture.
I kind of see the point, but then I think there's too many points that are against it, which is we want people to get out and find caches because we want people to get out safely. and do things instead of sitting around their house being depressed. A lot of people don't handle. I'm fine with it. I could sit in my house for probably 12 months and nobody. But
I'm dying already.
I know you are. And
I'm not even locked down yet. It's just the idea of being locked down and I'm dying.
The idea. I could sit and waste time for days and not know that I've wasted what day is it? Oh, I've been sitting here scrolling through I'm watching crazy YouTube videos. And one of the things we plan to do also on Tuesday nights is share things about ourselves that people don't know about. So, I'll share one real fast one just to kind of intertwine some of this. You ever watch the hot ones? You ever watch that YouTube where they have celebrities on and they make them eat hot wings
never seen
in higher and higher levels of Scoville units?
Yeah.
I love that show. I mean, I can't tell you how much I love that show.
So can you eat hot food?
I'm kind of a wimp.
Ooh,
so
have a show.
We could have a challenge. Now I can get it. I can eat it and get it down. And usually I don't have any problem. I mean, like if I eat really hot food, I mean, it affects everybody a certain way, but it doesn't really seem to affect. I mean, I can eat it and not get sick or anything, but it's fast. I mean, there's one thing I could sit there and binge watch that show forever. But I usually watch the celebrities I like to watch, but
yeah. Now I like wings.
See, the Mad Finn.
Yeah,
the Mad Finn loves it.
Well, then it's got to be great.
If the Mad Finn loves it, I mean, come on.
There you go. It's perfect.
He is the Mad Finn. I mean, we got to give him credit for that. So
as Craig just mentioned, yes, there are plenty of actual geocaching related things to do besides binge watching food challenges on TV.
Yes.
And that's what we're going to kind of talk about tonight. So the disable the caches, what it comes down to me for, that's a personal choice.
Yeah.
It's not effective in stopping people from finding your caches, but I see why people are doing it as just a sign of respect for what's going on in the country and around the world and stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm not going to personally do it, but I see why they're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Hot ones makes me hungry. Yeah, they look pretty good on the show. So
here you go. Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah.
He went out, yeah. So I have not been on a lockdown yet, but one's coming.
Right.
So in the last week, I think I found 31 caches.
Yeah.
In the last few days, just because I'm like it. I mean, I get in here for a long time, so. And
did you see Bounce's comment earlier? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to just.
Yeah. Put a hand sanitizer at his cache.
Did he really do that?
He could.
That's genius.
He has the ability to do that.
That is bounce right there, man. That is full on bounce. He put a motion sensor hand sanitizer dispenser. Wow. That's why he's the gadget talk man. So
since somebody mentioned that they went out caching and planned, let's see, as Ian did that.
Yeah, Ian did that.
Earth caches.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring up the Earth cache one. So yes. People are probably familiar if you've done Earth caches or hidden any recently, or just are a nerd like a lot of us and read the rules constantly. They've changed the rules on the login requirement for Earth caches. You can now require them to take a photo of themselves or a personal item as a proxy.
Wow.
A picture to prove that they were there.
Wow.
So if you have Earth caches out there, he's going to send a photo. That's great.
So you can do that. Like, remember back when
and they took it away.
Right. They took it away because that was the thing where people are like, oh, you can't force people to take a photo. Yeah.
But now you can do a selfie or a personal item that proves that you've been to that location.
Well, even back in the day, you're supposed to take a picture of you with the GPS, holding your GPS.
Yeah.
Which nowadays, I mean, it's in your phone. Why would you take a picture of your phone? I mean, come on.
So the question is, and I don't know how many people out there own Earth caches. You do.
I do. I own one.
Yeah.
Hope to own more eventually someday.
Yeah. So it was a few years back, but a lot of people, I didn't really see it really coming out much until recently. It was brought up. Right. It did get changed recently. It had something to do with the virtuals, history caches, as we call them.
Right.
They came back out, but you could retroactively now you could go back on yours and add that where anybody that gets it now from now on has to do a picture. You can make it required. It can't replace the other logging requirements,
right.
the questions, but it can be in addition to. So
that's cool. I like that.
There's a question. If you're really bored, that's one thing you could do is go back and update all your earth caches.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. From here on out, right? It wouldn't
Yeah.
affect any retroactive logs, obviously, but
right.
You could absolutely go back and do that. So
could you retroactively change your own earth cache if you're the owner of it? I guess you can, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You couldn't change anyone else's, but your own, the ones that you own.
Right. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. You could go back and add that as like you had 3 questions. You could add that as number 4.
Wow. That's interesting.
Because honestly, it's not hard to guess a lot of those questions, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
For the most part. For the most part,
it's not that hard. And a lot of people do them by like Google Maps and everything else. And because you're not signing your name anywhere. So it's a big armchair logging thing.
Right. And this is a way to kind of get around
the picture there.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see because most people aren't really good at photoshopping themselves into a picture.
So going back and audit to older. Yeah. So I just published a couple more recently, earth caches, and I know, but people like them, so I keep publishing them.
You do really well with those, by the way.
I added a couple new ones, and on both of those, I did add the picture requirement, and I've got 2 more in the chute that I'm going to try to publish. I'm sending somebody else to beta test them first, but go ahead.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry. Could you make the photo requirement not of you, but of something that you could only take a picture of if you were there?
Well, the way the rule says, take a picture of you showing you were there or a personal proxy. So I don't know.
Or maybe you holding something.
Ian should make fun of me for this because everybody knows my opinion. Earth caches are absolutely not my favorite to find. However, I've hidden, I think 25 for me and at least another 15 for other people because I can and because other people like them.
And you're trying to get to 100 finds, is that right?
Oh, finds? Yeah, I'm at 99 now. I just, I
got 1 to go.
1 to go, and because I've signed a bunch of challenges. That's the reason.
Exactly.
They're not my favorite kind of find usually, although some of them are really good. There's one that I'm trying to hold out for, but the national parks I can't get to right now.
Sure.
There's reasons I can't get to it, but I'm going to hopefully get it this summer as my 100th, and it's a 5.5 earth cache, and it's legitimate. So, yeah. So I do keep putting them out, and I'm going to keep putting them out because, especially right now, if people can get out and get around, you don't have to touch anything with an earth cache. So you're not spreading any germs or anything else like that. So that and lab caches right now are kind of
right. Adventure labs, virtuals, earth caches.
Yeah.
All those are.
If you can find one, but I mean, you're going to get that anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while earth caches are not my favorite, and I like to make fun of them just because it's funny because people get really up in arms about them because people that love them. But I can put them out. People enjoy them, so I put them out. It's not for me to find; it's for somebody else to find. So
right.
But I'm thinking about going back and adding that picture requirement because some of mine are hiking earth caches. Like it's not drive up to.
Sure.
So I do want people to actually experience the views that I got and why I put them there. So I think the pictures, and you always want to see pictures there. So.
Oh yeah, same with yeah. He hates earth caches, but he got one.
Oh yeah. UC's got one hidden.
Yeah, good job.
Help me with that one, yeah.
Way to go, Jesse.
Same with where I goes. Yeah, same thing, right? They can be a pain to build, but people like them, so it's worth going through the trouble to do it. So for me, that's just my personal opinion on that. But which
I know you have it in the notes. I don't know if we want to jump down to it because I'm fascinated by, and we might need to wait. But we want to talk about solving where I goes ahead of time. We'll get to that in a little bit, I think. But,
okay. Well, let's just go ahead and go up to that one now.
Okay, because this was something that I really did not understand, and I've been around since I've been geocaching since 2006, and I should have known the I wouldn't say rules, the dynamics of where I goes that are what's the term that you can do them anywhere?
Play anywhere.
Play anywhere. Yeah. So I didn't really understand play anywhere. And then you and I and a bunch of people were going caching. And we had a group and we wanted to go find some where I goes. Well, instead of doing the where I go requirements, I guess we did it in a field.
Right. Yeah, that one wasn't really a play anywhere. You had to be generally in that location.
Okay.
But you moved around within that location. So multiple zones, but like a play anywhere one would be like if you had
do it from home.
You can do it from anywhere in the world, right? You can answer the quiz, you solve it. Like a lot of times I'll do that for GeoArts or whatever else. Like I've got a series of, I don't know, 50 or 75 or something like that. I'm building a GeoArt north of here, and it's all where it goes, but it's a play anywhere because there's not good service where it is. It's play anywhere so people can solve them and kind of map out their direction of where they want to go and do it.
Oh, okay.
So something like that, or so this is kind of with puzzles and with where I goes, right? You can solve it from home, and that's that rainy day activity, and that's a perfect time for now. So wipe out all the puzzles in your area.
Absolutely.
Solve them all, adjust them, and I'm sure everybody knows this, but I'm going to say it again anyway, right? Edit them either use Cachely, you can do it, or on geocaching.com, and it'll show up as the changed coordinates, so you don't have to. You don't have to have the waypoint. You can actually adjust the coordinates.
Yeah, there's something that Craig posted a video, and I posted in a couple places, and I'll put in the show notes for this as well. But Craig posted different ideas of what to do, and he mentioned that solving puzzles now because you have a computer and know where to go. But he said also create puzzles. Take the time to think about a puzzle because you can do all the legwork of creating a puzzle cache up into going to hiding it. You can always do that later, but you got to do all the legwork ahead of time, or can.
So this, it's a perfect time for building puzzles, solving where I goes.
So the play anywhere obviously can, but I like the idea of, Ian mentions about planning a multi.
So that kind of falls over into another category of, and we'll
go ahead.
It's kind of obvious, but start planning your next hide. I mean, there's a guy that comes on like at least one Tuesday a month that can tell you how to do creative containers. You're at home anyway. Get on Amazon, get you the parts, and make you a bunch of nice hides that you're going to put out later.
Yep. Here's what people have never seen it, but I'll show it real quick. And that is, see that puzzle? And see the red triangle on it? That shows that it is a solved or a coordinate corrected puzzle.
Yep.
And that's what we're talking about, is the fact that you could go through and correct all your coordinates now, and hopefully they have puzzle checkers. That's for another show, but
right. And it doesn't have to be like, if you're planning it, it doesn't have to be puzzles. Plan some multis, plan some where it goes. You have a free cartridge on our website. Anybody can download it. I'm actually adding another one coming up too, like a multi-stage one.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to add that to the page as soon as I get a chance. But plan them out now. Go and play with them, and you have time if you're in that situation, or you are soon going to be in that situation. Do some of the stuff that, since you can't be out geocaching right for some of you right now. Start planning out your new series, or get ready for that next great cache.
Right. DJW House, who.
Yeah. There's one to talk about it, right?
Yeah. I guess a little bit of a spoiler warning is that we might be seeing Dave soon on Tuesday night in a couple weeks. So looking forward to that. So
there you go, Derek.
Good. Thank you, my friend.
I'm glad to see that the geocaching community is getting together and really looking out for each other, right? That's what we want. Here's tips. There's all this good stuff. Oh, here we go. There can't be enough of these. Working on a travel bug hotel.
Yes.
I love those. Oh, here you go. Sign up for cache swap. Plan a hide in your area, make a GR. Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely.
All kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah, the travel bug hotel, by the way, there was one. I don't know if I sent you a picture of it, Jesse. There was one down at Texas Challenge, and it was what we had talked about years ago, which is a hospital. So there was made up like a hospital, like you had the Red
Yeah,
Cross.
I love those.
And
I found one of those too. They're great.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
So then just if you can't get out and do cache maintenance, that's another way to do cache maintenance. And I try to log these on there too, which is go to your web pages of your caches. I mean, some of you, like you've been in the game since 06, right? Probably the first cache you put out, that cache page was not probably that special.
No, just the basics.
If some of those are still active, have you ever gone back and updated any of your cache pages?
I did once, but this has been a while back, and and it was really more aesthetics. It wasn't really useful. You know, you have some that I like what you've done with some of yours. So.
Yeah. So here I'll show. I did the other day, and this is what I plan on doing when I finally get locked down. I played around with a couple of things, but now I go back every once in a while and I'll update my cache page as I learn a new trick. Right. So I did this one this weekend after our show. Let's see, I've got this in here. So here was originally just a Where I Go that I had, one of mine, hiking Where I Go.
Right.
And it's just standard cache page, picture, description, what a Where I Go is, download button, you know, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
It's pretty standard stuff. So here, I updated it. So I'll do, that's going to be this one. There's the GC55J40 in case anybody wants to follow along.
That's 55 Jasmer 40. The J is Jasmer
40. That's right. So I will got some updates to that one.
Got my cheat sheet right here.
Here we go. So what I did is I went back. And
I know.
So it's updated.
Love the look of that.
Graphics into it. Linked Arthur's Rock, which is where the hike is.
Right.
To a hiking page that's got a list of all the things you need to know about the hike before you go on the hike. Added a bunch more information on the rules in the area. Talked about it. And then still gave the rules to Where I Go, you know, what a Where I Go is. Play button.
Easy, right, which is nice because sometimes you have to really hunt to find the link to the cartridge. You're like, well, they really hid that well. And you're looking and looking and looking. Oh, I think this is it, you know.
And then I added so down here I added, you know, just kind of a little note from the cache owner.
Right. That's cool. That's a great idea.
So also, do you recognize this at all? Does that ring a bell for you? That general HTML? Not the HTML, I mean the page there. Does that look familiar to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's you.
No. The layout of that page.
Oh, the layout of the page. Oh man,
remember the mega we covered Sunday?
Yes. Oh,
so I went on their site, stole the HTML.
Oh, cool.
For everybody that knows, you can see HTML, you know, the code of everything.
You can, right.
Even if you're not, which I'm not a coder, but I got in there and started playing with it until I got it right. So like this is the home button there, takes you to there.
Oh yeah.
The Where I Go tells you about Where I Goes.
That's nice.
Straight to the play button. And then the G, of course, takes us down to our little family philosophy.
Yeah.
I also found this. So this was a pretty neat. So I like to let people get in touch with me if there's anything wrong with my caches, right?
Sure.
So I had a phone number years ago that was one of those Google phone numbers.
Yeah, right.
But people always felt weird about calling it. So I stopped doing that. So I did these links here, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and check this one out.
Oh, goes to
see what that is?
Send message?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Sends me a message.
Nice.
And it labels it from this cache.
Oh, kind of like what Cachely does when you have an Earth cache and you say send answers. It brings up a send message with the in regards to kind of thing. That's awesome.
Wow. But so now not everybody wants to do that on their cache page. I saw that one from the Mega, went in there, got their code from that, and nobody cares about that. You know, go and share it. It's out there, right? Yeah. None of it's secret. It's not like I've got it from Nike. And
I love it.
It's a page reviewed with that HTML code like that, or was it changed after publishing? Changed after publishing. So here's a question.
Okay.
It was changed after publishing. Why would that make a difference? I'm curious to know that. Although a lot of mine come with HTML code like that from the very beginning, right? Probably because of the social links on there.
Oh.
So if they want to take them down, I'll take it down, right? But that's ways to get in touch with me. So that's my theory on that.
Yeah.
If that's against a rule out there, don't do it because Jesse said to do it. Do it because you wanted to do it. But the whole idea was update the page, add some new hints and tips, because that one's been out there for a little while. I'm not sure how long it's been out there.
Right.
But add a little something too, right? So so the same thing applies. So I'm going to go back through all my caches that are still active. Right. Check the page. I may not do HTML like that for all because a lot of people cache mobile now anyway, right?
Right.
But I'm going to go back and check them, make sure everything's clean, make sure all the links still work, make sure any of the pictures haven't, they're not outdated or they're not, the area hasn't changed.
What was the GC on that again, real quick? I'm sorry.
Let's see.
I know I got you.
Here you go. 5.5 Jasmer 40.
5.5. That's a good one. Jasmer 40. I should know that.
The only reason I ask is because they've cracked down a bit on Facebook links and cache pages. There's a little disclaimer that they keep forcing locals to add. Ooh, interesting. I'll have to check on that. So nobody do that Facebook link then.
Well, yeah, that part you can. But I like the.
So I might change that then. If that's against the rules, I'll take it off or whatever. But still like that link. I may just put that other one on there.
It looks good on it looks good on Cachely on my phone, so it's good.
Okay. As long as it works with Cachely.
Yeah.
What HTML page do people use?
Which HTML page do people use? Well, you can use you can basically what Jesse's talking about is you can steal. Like you could go to this cache and you could steal part of the HTML.
Yeah, the code of all that's there, which I
like that. I mean, that's to me because I'm like you. I'm not a coder.
No,
but I at least understand it enough to understand, and because we do our website, but I don't necessarily do all that. I just want to. I know enough, and I think everybody can learn enough of HTML.
Oh, yeah. We've done a couple of HTML workshops around here locally.
Right.
HTML for geocaching. And it's just simple stuff. How to put pictures in, change, do a background or something if you want it. You don't have to get complicated with it. And yes, right there. Google is how I learn everything nowadays.
Yeah. Just use that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if people don't realize, maybe they don't realize, you can give I just want a quick note that if you either F12 or you right click on a page and choose view source, you can get the HTML, which by the way can be a nice little trick if you want to do a puzzle cache and you want to hide something.
Oh gosh, yeah. I hide stuff in mine all the time. Sometimes to see if people are looking.
Right, just to see.
I've hidden trackable codes in one, stuff that's not even related to the cache, just for fun.
Which, by the way, somebody should go back to both of our latest books because there's trackables in the book, and I know a couple of them. Is there one nobody's ever found?
No, eventually
they finally did.
But people, and the fun thing about that is it'll pop in. There's 5. There's 5. Well, you can find that anywhere. There's 5. I'm not gonna say where they are or whatever, but
right.
I can watch as people go through. Like, hey, I found this one. I'm gonna find the next one.
Right.
And there's always one that stumps everybody.
Right.
I had somebody the other day find it first.
Oh,
like, wow, that's weird. But anything I can do to add games inside of games, it's always fun.
I'm sorry, I had to grab my book. So, in Jesse's book, which I gave your other book away, Jesse, so I gave it away at Texas Challenge. But
okay, I'll send you another one.
Yeah, if you go through, sometimes you'll find, I'm not showing one, but you can kind of go through the thing and maybe somewhere in the text here you might see a trackable number. So
yeah.
Hey, go check our books. It might be a fun little thing, little Easter eggs.
Yeah, read some books. There's geocaching books out there, right? There's
there's one. Easter eggs on the web pages.
Fiction and nonfiction geocaching books out there.
I found one of my trackables right here on this page right here. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, look. There you go. Lori's found them all, but she hasn't logged them yet. So there's something to do in the lockdown.
There you go.
So I want to say to that. So let's say you go back through and you check. I would tell everybody, if you're check them all, check all your caches. It may be how you want them. You may have them in perfect condition. You may want to add something else to them, right?
Right.
Spice it up and then throw that owner maintenance thing on there, the little green wrench, I think. Let people know that you're still updating it or whatever.
Yeah, I like it.
But it doesn't have to be just cache pages. We talked about the profile the other day, so cache pages also. But I think it's worth mentioning. A lot of people will, and this is all personal preference, right?
It's the 201 Geocache to find before you die, 2nd edition. So.
Oh yeah.
Now Spouse was asking about that. Go ahead.
But
you're right.
Send this to trackable pages.
That's true.
I don't know what you do on yours, but sometimes I'll activate a trackable and I have put a lot of effort into it, right? I'll just put find me, or something like that. But sometimes, like here's one. I'll bring up an example here of one that we had a little fun with, but I still want to. So this is one that I think we've talked about this on the show before. Yeah, there's the trackable code there. You don't have to wait to get it. I'm going to put it up there again in a minute. So this one was released. There was 4 of them.
Look how young they looked.
Yeah, that's when we first moved to Colorado. That one's in college, and that one's a teenager now.
I know, it's crazy.
And I didn't even have a beard. Look at that.
No beard.
But we told our story. This was 4 of them that we released, and each one of these right here linked to the other ones, the other trackables. So each one of us had one that we released at headquarters.
Oh, that's a great photo.
And then they raced around everywhere.
Yeah.
So we spent a little time building this cache page and kind of told the story of it. And those got some pretty good traction.
Right.
So those are fun. But I think it's worth this, since you have the time now, go back and check your trackable pages. People do land on those eventually. I know people do mobile a lot, but some people do land on those, and it's just another fun place to just add quality to your whole geocaching atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
So I hide something else, put a puzzle on there, put something fun on there. Who knows? Yeah,
I think all of us. I mean, if you're as hardcore or at least semi-hardcore as us, there are times you're going to go to the webpage because there's times when you might not be caching, but you want to look at a webpage. I mean, you want to look at a cache for whatever reason. And so, yeah, there's plenty of times where you want to do something like that. So that's really cool.
So now while you're on the computer and redesigning your cache page, your profile page, and going through and checking all of your caches, then every part of your game is solid, right? I mean, now's the perfect time. If you can't find new caches, update everything you've got. Just that high quality of, as you go back through, plus you'll have fun going back through some of your own cache pages, right? Because they're yours. They're fun. You can look at the logs. Because a lot of what people don't realize, unless you set up a special notification for it, when people do the logs and they just put like more to come, you don't get notified the next time. So there may be some really amazing logs that you've missed on your own caches out there. And if you're like me, I like reading the logs that are interesting.
I do too. I like when there's some variance to. There's an Easter egg in my comment.
Yeah,
but
it's interesting tonight. Actually,
what's that?
There's been a bunch of Easter eggs tonight so far.
We have. So variance is
only one person, which I don't even think he's here tonight.
It's nice to see.
Knows what we're talking about. Anyway,
that's true. I haven't seen him tonight where Ryan is. Yeah.
So also, while you're going through your trackables, you may want to check and see if any of them are lost. So if you have 3, you probably know where they are. But if you have hundreds of them,
that's a good. Sorry, this is a good. Eric 1701 had a good example. Good thing. Broken links, bad hints. Absolutely. I mean, that is a great hint or great suggestion, because there have been times where I had a puzzle, and I don't do a lot of puzzles, but I had one and it hadn't been found in a long time. Finally, somebody went to solve my puzzle. Well, the puzzle used, and this is another puzzle tip. We're not even. That's for another show, but I used a wrong or an outdated website for the puzzle hint that you had to go to it, and it's like click. It's like the heck.
Go check those. Yeah, go check your stuff.
And so that's a good idea. Is once in a while, not all the time, but I should have maybe once a year at least should have gone out and click, make sure that link still works, and so forth.
So check your trackables for ones that have gone missing, right? So I do it every January. I go in and check on mine. I haven't done it this year. Now I'm glad I haven't because it gives me something more to do.
Right.
But there's some of them that have been in, like, were dropped in an event 7 months ago, and the event's been archived a long time ago, right?
Right.
Like a mega maybe or something like that.
Right.
But
or it's in the hands of
it's in the hands of someone who had it for a year. What I do is I go in and email either the owner of the event. The event I don't do it as much, but owner of the cache. I mean, owner of the cache, like, hey, this was last seen in there. Have you been to that cache lately? Is there anything actually in there? Or if it's in the hands of somebody, I'll email them and say, hey, do you remember if you dropped this one off, or do you still have this with you?
Right.
Now, sometimes they'll say, I have no idea. Okay, sometimes they won't even answer. They're out of the game. But I've had several that have gone, oh my gosh, you know what? I've been in a slump lately. I have not. I will get it back out there immediately. Or I've had cache owners go out and say, yeah, it's still in the cache. It's been sitting there for 7 months. I'm like, awesome. And now a lot of people pick it up and move it. They'll ask, do you want me to move it along? I'm like, yeah. Sure.
I've had one, and I've actually had one myself, but which is bad, very bad, which is I had one where it was like, it's been gone a while. Do you have it? And they go, maybe. Let me check. It's like at the bottom of their backpack, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I found it.
Right.
And then I had the same thing happen where somebody asked me like, hey, just checking. It'd be real nice. I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. I left it in my bag, and it's like, I felt so bad. It's like I hung on to it way too long.
Yeah, we've all done that. Whether we like to admit it or not, we've done it. We've all held onto a trackable a little too long. I
have to go check my bag now. Make sure.
There's another thing, right? Check your own inventory and see if you list a trackable that belongs to somebody else.
I'll check my bag real quick. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing my lamppost inspection team shirt.
There you go.
Very important that you inspect those lampposts.
So now everybody has a different opinion on this, and this is one of those personal preference things. But
go ahead.
If one is lost and gone, let's say it's gone for a year and it's been archived, right?
Right.
It's gone. Have you ever put out a proxy? And
yes.
Send it back out?
Oh, absolutely. Well, it was our good friend from Nova Scotia, Pete Young. ibgeocaching.com, by the way.
Yeah.
Check out ibgeocaching. I like island buttons is what's from ibgeocaching.com. And tell them that we sent you to buy cool stuff from ibgeocaching.com. But he did a resurrection. Tell people about what a resurrection is. I don't have any, so I think I'm in good shape. But tell people what is a travel bug resurrection.
Yeah, you can I guess reissue. If you have a travel bug, you still own the number.
Those are handy, by the way.
Oh yeah,
that's for another show. Do you have any of these?
I do not.
These are real handy, by the way. So you can always have a deep woods off.
Yeah, you can basically reissue your trackable. So your trackable is maybe it's like this one. Like that trackable number right there that we looked at earlier.
That's right. Oh yeah, that one right there.
If it's like that one and say a thing goes missing and it's been missing for a long time, you can attach a new item to a new tag. Now you should also attach the goals to it too, but that's for a different show, right? But
that is a great idea, by the way. If people know, and I am,
but send it back out.
I am notoriously horrible.
Yeah,
I've seen people who do a great job of laminating a card, making sure it's secure to the travel bug. Because I think all of us, for the most part, you find a travel bug in a cache and you look at it and you go, do I want to go to the trouble of actually looking this sucker up and trying to figure out where it's supposed to go? and then you go, or do I just grab it and go? And a lot of times I just take the chance of like, I'll move it along. I hope I'm moving in the right direction. Do you do that?
I try to, when I grab one, I try to look at it right there
and see where it's supposed to go.
See where it's, because caching makes it so easy to do.
It does.
I'll check it right down the spot. Now, a lot of times, because I really like when I get to move them closer to a goal.
Yes,
I think that's fun. Now, a lot of times they don't even have goals. It's like just
go wherever. Yeah, I've had, and this is really kind of for another show, but I've had travel bugs where my own travel bugs was like, oh, it might make it to Hawaii. It went all the way to San Francisco. I'm like, it's just, I mean, San Francisco to Hawaii, it's like one step away, and then somebody took it to Iowa. It's like,
oh yeah,
well, that was great.
I've had ones that have gone totally off track, and
glad somebody read the destination on the page, but oh well, it happens.
There still are people that cache with those boat anchor things out there, so they can't check it in the field. What do they call them? Those GPSR things.
You got one right here. Why would you?
To each his own, man. To each his own.
Why would you use one of the boat anchors? It doesn't work. They don't even. Do they even work anymore? I don't think they work.
But
we're bad. All the people who use
poking fun. We're trying to have fun tonight, but
everybody who uses the GPSR is gonna be like, "Oh, you people are
we're so mean." I know.
Here's my Magellan Gold.
Come on, stop.
That's
not. That thing even work?
No, that's funny is why doesn't I want to know why doesn't this? I put batteries in it and it will not find satellites anymore, and I'm thinking why?
Yeah.
It's only 14 years old. Why is it not working? This is the first one I used for geocaching, by the way.
So I made one cache line. I made one for an event years ago that only be viewed reasonably on the web. Kind of like VR users with minimal HTML support.
Perfect.
Most of my where it goes can't be played on GPS. There's a lot of mob cache. There's a lot of things that can't be done on a GPSR. So, to each his own. Everybody has their own things, right?
No, Audie, it's a Magellan, by the way.
Look, she doesn't even know how to use GPS. That would be an interesting show because I don't either.
Yeah, I don't. Well,
I've been taught how to use one, and some of the cachers around here are like the old school cachers. Took me out hiking and showed me how to use it, but I haven't done it again since. And that was 2010.
Isn't every one a little bit different too? That's like you. I mean, I know you could learn them, but I'm not phoning a friend right here, people. So that's for another show.
Here's one of the most true statements we've seen tonight. Not every cache has to be found by every person.
Absolutely, you're right, and not everybody right. And we're tongue in cheek. If you use a boat anchor, more power to you. We love you too. We love you.
For the next section,
go and find caches with your boat anchor. We're happy.
So we're having So if you're on Facebook, you may not be hearing us right now. So
yeah,
what's going on with that?
They've been having some issues with Facebook. I know our church did one this past weekend, and they had some issues with Facebook. So
I've got really just 3 more items, and I know we're going to be a little shorter tonight, but we're never short. So
I know
I'll jump onto these, but this is for Project GC. So I'll throw this up here real quick. I'm not going to go into what Project GC is because everybody knows what Project GC is by now, right?
Yeah.
That's where you get all your stats.
Or if not, you need to go out and
go get it. It's worth it, especially right now. We should do a deep dive show into that again. We did one last time and only scratched the surface. We need to do that again. So anyway, Project GC has some really interesting features on there that are great for right now. You're busy caching, you might not do it, but on a rainy day or pandemic, you're stuck inside. One of those is check for duplicate logs. So under this,
go ahead. Yep.
Find bad logs. It's under profile. So if you go under profile, you get all the things that we're talking about now.
That's a great one.
Find bad logs. I guarantee if you pull it up right now, you'll probably have some on there.
Oh, absolutely.
So it does it both for your caches that you have found and your caches that others have found that you own. So you can check duplicate logs because it happens, right?
Right.
And you can go back in and fix those. So, and then under that one, so if you've never done that, you may have a bunch.
Right.
or there may be a bunch on yours. Like people accidentally duplicate log things, like in the past did. I don't think you can do it anymore.
No, but you might have really old ones,
right?
What's that?
It's built in automatically now where you can't do it.
Right.
It wasn't for a long time. So
right.
you have a bunch of them in there that.
Right.
I had one of because I unfortunately or fortunately won. I had the opportunity to build caches.
Yeah.
For a mega event, I built some gadget caches. You know. I said, okay. For the hold on, here we go. Gadget. For the audio listeners, I'm doing air quotes right now.
Air bunnies.
Gadget caches because they were pretty like simple gadget caches. You know,
they were cool though.
They were pretty simple.
I thought you did a great job on those.
They're definitely not of the level on Gadget Talk, right? They're pretty simple stuff.
But still, that was what 2016.
Yeah, and they got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, I know most of them.
They were the shortest living caches I've ever had. They were there for like 2 days. They were alive for 2 days.
Yeah, which is unbelievably incredibly.
I'm going to rebuild them again though because I want to.
Lame.
Now's the perfect time to rebuild them. But I got many duplicate logs from those. Now I learned something from that. I should have build those with a group and then adopted them back to myself later. I got 80,000 emails in one weekend, and that was terrible.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's tons of duplicate logs, and I've been going through ever since that event and trying to clear out those duplicate logs. There's tons of them in there.
Oh, I bet.
But people have also accidentally logged an event twice or whatever else. So I like to clean that out because why not, right? So if you've never done that, that's kind of a fun little thing to do.
Well, and Jeff's right. Some people just forget. And like you said, you forget now that you ever did one, and they were, like you said, they were back in the day. I actually had an issue where I wasn't even trying to duplicate it. This was years ago where I logged on my phone and it was like the signals between me and gc.com.
Yeah.
And so I ended up with like 3 duplicate logs. I didn't hit it 3 times. I just hit it once and walked away, but it had trouble with it. So
yeah. And just as he said, the good news is now that the duplicate logs won't happen anymore. Once you clean out one, you're clear. I've got so many I've been trying to clean out. I would say everybody should, if you're stuck in your house, go check that stat. If you've never done it before, it's pretty interesting. And it doesn't mess with anybody's stats, right? Because if they logged it twice, they didn't get it. You're not deleting their original log. It only deletes the duplicate log. So, and as a matter of fact, I go in every time before I delete one and make sure I see 2 on there.
Yes.
I don't want to take anybody's stats away that they got it. So
right. Or even yourself. Just make sure you only delete 1 if you have 2 or
the things we've already talked about could get you through weeks right now. So we got a couple more we're gonna throw on there, but the on that same tab is forgotten FTFs, and I think somebody mentioned that in the chat room too. But
I love that.
If you track FTFs, Project GC has a good way of tracking it. You put a little symbol in there, like brackets or what the square ones or the little fuzzy ones. I don't know.
Yeah, you can use different types of brackets.
But it tells you on the page.
Yeah.
But I've definitely found a lot of caches on that page that I forget. I don't even think I'm not a huge FTF guy. I went through a phase where I wanted to get one every month for a year, and we did. But since then, I haven't. Every once in a while, it'll strike us as fun, and we'll race out the door and do it. But
real quick, Adi, they do. You'll get an email.
Yeah,
they will get an email saying
it'll still show they found that cache.
But then you usually just turn around and go, "Hey, you had duplicate. I just removed one, not the other one."
I've actually never had anybody contact me afterwards.
That's good.
So yeah, for forgotten FTFs, you can probably find your FTFs and shore up some that you didn't have if you're interested in looking at your FTFs, right?
Right. Periscope's still working, by the way, so that's good. If anybody wants to jump over to Periscope, that's working.
Okay, Periscope's working still.
Still working. Go ahead. Sorry.
And then on that same tab is forgotten favorites.
Yeah.
So
that's for another show too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's for another show, but we're going to talk about favorites again because I've had my opinion updated on that or changed since we talked about it last. But
yeah, we're going to have to. Yeah, that's a big one. But yes, but you're right.
Anyway, so forgotten FTFs, not forgotten FTFs, forgotten favorites is a good one because they do it based on, I guess, high favorite. I forget how that calculation goes, but I'm going back in there and go, oh man, I can't believe I did not put a favorite on that one. Because I do that accidentally sometimes. I'll mean to favorite it, but I'll hit the submit button too fast. And when I'm just on Cashly, you can do it on Cashly. You can do the favorites, but I just get rolling and I forget.
Right.
And you never remember to go back later. So that's a good way to go in there. And you'll see there's some logic behind the ones they have on that list, right?
Right.
And then, so that's probably those three big ones are the ones that I would go to on project. We'll do some more later, but I think that pretty much rounds out the list of, I don't know how long it would take to go through all those things we did, but hopefully that would be some fun things you can do. And, the other suggestion I would say is shoot us an email if you have some other indoor activities that we can pass on as well. geocachetalk@gmail.com.
I was about to put
and we'll get that information out there as well, right? And go check out geocachetalk.com. We're adding updates to that all the time right now. There's even some new stuff for patrons on there that you'll be getting information on how to access that soon.
I like
for patrons, but we're adding tons of stuff for everybody.
Yeah,
a couple of extra special things for patrons on there. And we'll keep touching base with indoor activities as it spreads more and more. And again, hopefully this show doesn't last. This segment of our show doesn't last for long, right?
Right. Gadget Talk will always be there.
Yeah.
We're hoping Tuesdays with Geocache Talk doesn't.
Yeah, right. We hope that gets filled with Gadget Talk or something else, but these Tuesday nights just for fun. The focus of this is just to add a little extra fun while we're all kind of stuck indoors, or not all of us, but a lot of us are. But, and I remind everybody again, like we did the other night, just keep in mind that some of your geocaching buddies out there are not in perfect health. And reach out and check on everybody, but reach out and check on them. Just make sure, don't forget them just because you don't get to see them at events and stuff like that. Travel Bug Tuesdays.
I love Travel Bug Tuesday. Yeah. That's funny.
We could have some fun with that. I do have an idea that I haven't mentioned to Gary yet, but we can't talk about it now. So
can't talk about it now. But
that's for another show.
Next Tuesday, my friend. Next Tuesday.
Yeah, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
So we're gonna fill up Tuesday nights right now and Sunday nights. Plus, we have the other shows that have been coming out too. So hopefully, this just gives you a little more entertainment. It's been a fun, quick show too. It went by super fast.
Oh, it does. So you want me to just mention the upcoming shows?
Yeah, because there's so many now, and
we wrap up.
Yeah, right. Besides the normal shows we're adding, we're trying to provide as much extra entertainment for the same price.
Exactly,
free.
Same price.
Same price of free as we can, because some people are really stuck inside and stressing it right now. So So let's wrap up by kind of giving them all the shows that are coming up.
Yeah, real quick, this Sunday at our normal time, 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time, we're going to have on Peanuts or Pretzels, which is Josh and Liz Wilson there. This will be fascinating because they're like permanently on the road, which I think is fascinating.
I'm so jealous.
I can't wait for the stories. They lived in Asia for a long time. They lived in Colorado for a little bit. From Georgia, I think originally. I know that's where they met, and they've been on a Georgia TV show. I mean, they're a great couple, and they're going to be on this Sunday, and we're going to talk to them and hear great stories. They're big geocachers, but they're big travelers. They have basically, it's going to be a great insight into their business. But Peanuts, their website, Peanuts or Pretzels, all one word, .com, Peanuts or Pretzels.
Great site too.
So yeah, love having them on. So real quick, just that. Plus, next Tuesday, we have our third Gadget Talk show, our second build.
Yeah,
so
third show.
Really looking forward to that build next Tuesday. So even if you don't have all the parts, or if you want to try to get the parts now, if you go out to geocachetalk.com and go to the Gadget Talk link, you'll see all the parts for the March build. And either way, come watch the show, watch everybody build The next one, the Decryptor, I think is the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And just really looking forward to seeing another build. We're gonna do the same thing we did last time, as far as Chad will have the two cameras. We'll have the one facing forward, and he'll have one above, so you can see what he's building, which is fascinating. I loved watching that last week.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Looking forward to that. So those are the two major shows, and then I guess in 2 weeks from tonight, we'll do another Tuesday nights just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
So one last thing I want to close with for me anyway is because we love reading emails. So geocachetalk@gmail.com. One, we still need blog posts. It's a perfect time to write and read blog posts. So send us, contact us. There's information on the site how to get your blog out there.
Yes.
I would, and along with that, or even if it doesn't, if you don't think it ranks as a full blog post, you might be wrong, but you might be right. But we'd also like to hear your stories of, if you're locked down or whatever, how you're passing the time if you're not able to geocache.
Right.
Really fascinated to see how people are doing that. And if you give us permission, we'll share it too. And it may give somebody else ideas. So plus we love reading emails from everybody, right? So send it in. If you're locked down anyway, you might as well have time to email us. So
exactly.
And we'll share the stories. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. The Tuesday nights are going to be filled up with just fun. I don't know if we'll have anybody on these shows or not, but we're just going to have a lot of fun with it. So,
right. All right. Yep. Perfect. Oh yeah, I did, by the way, Craig. I'll share in a couple more places, but Craig has a great video, so go check that out. So all right. I guess that's it.
Yep. Wrap it up.
Good night, everybody.